Hello, folks. Dustin Zarni here, Democratic Commissioner, Elections Commissioner of Onondaga County. Today is Tuesday, August 16th. We are 1 week away from the August 23rd primary for the congressional candidates. And early voting is ongoing right now, and that's what I'm going to mostly talk about today. I am going to mention one thing off the top. There was news report this week. There will be a press conference on Thursday. And it looks like the Democratic Caucus of the Onondaga County Legislature will finally be filing suit on the Onondaga County legislative maps. You may remember last October, November, December, all the controversy around this. There's many reasons why it took so long. The new law that was done with New York State. That went to court on the state side, so I think they wanted to wait until after that was done. Also, when you're gathering experts and you don't have a ton of money to spend, you need to get the resources done at the pace that you can get it done to do a filing of this kind. And again, these district maps for the county aren't valid until next year. They don't start until March of next year. That's when petitions are drawn. So there was plenty of time to draw these maps, constitutionally correct. But failing that, there's plenty of time to go to court on those as well. So the Democrats will be planning to do so. And they're holding a press conference on Thursday, and I may be a part of that. So because I may be a part of the lawsuit, I won't say anything more than what I just said. You'll have to read the filing and read the press reports later this week. Of course, as that goes out, we'll be able to share more information with you. But I wanted to put that right out at the front because I didn't want to not acknowledge it. But I do want to talk about early voting. Early voting is today is the fourth day of early voting. 2 of the 3 first days of early voting have been the highest voters for a primary yet in Onondaga County history. We had 525 yesterday. We had 507 on Saturday. Those crushed the previous records of 363. And even Sunday was 359 or something like that. So it was pretty close as well to that record of 363, which was set earlier in June. So far, the early voting is well ahead of the pace for the June primary, which was the largest number of raw votes in early voting in a primary in Onondaga County history. So this is why I always talk about early voting is growing, because as we see election upon election, as early voting has been spread out to more communities and it's closer to more voters, and more voters are used to it and they respect it. And most importantly, the stigma of early voting is being lifted. You're going to see more and more people using it. Now, will that mean that early voting will drive turnout up? I don't know. It's not a panacea. I think, if we had things like no fault absentees and same day registration and early voting and automatic voter registration, if all of that was working together, you definitely would see higher turnout. The fact that some of these things are going on right now, actually only one thing is early voting going on right now, you may not see the dramatic increase in turnout that we had hoped. That being said, you are seeing a usage increase of early voting, and that is important in and of itself. So we'll see what happens later today. So far, the pace for today, by the way, if you're watching this live, you have till 8 o'clock tonight to go to the polls. But the pace for today for early voting is extremely high. Could set another record. We'll have to see how the next 2 hours go. And early voting will continue from noon to 8 tomorrow, and on Thursday and Friday 10 to 6, and on Saturday and Sunday 9 to 5. So you still have 5 more days of early voting left to go. Now, what reminder of what's on the August 23rd primary. You have primaries for both congressional candidates for both parties. So the GOP has 2 candidates running for office. The Democrats have 4 candidates running for office. If you go to onvote.net, you can see the candidates list and get sample ballots for that. There's also a Conservative Party primary for about 70% of the conservative voters in the county for the Senate District number 48. That is the Rachel May Senate District, which includes Syracuse, the city of Syracuse, most of the southern tier, all of the western edge towns, and all the way into Cayuga County for all of Cayuga County. There's a Conservative Party primary between Republican Julie Abbott and Conservative Justin Cornetti on that as well. So that is happening as well. So those are the races that are happening for August 23rd. That's pretty much it. We'll have more to talk about the the Onondaga County redistricting process and the lawsuit later this week. So watch the press reports for that. We'll also be talking about the results for primary day. While election day will happen on August 23rd, and polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Remember, you can still get an absentee ballot if you need it. Right now, it's too late to have us mail an absentee ballot to you. So you're going to have to come in and pick up that absentee ballot. Of course, you can go to early vote. But if one of the reasons why you need an absentee ballot is because you're sick or you got ill or hospitalized, you can have somebody come in for you with a note or a filled out application that has your name and address and reason why you need an absentee ballot, and preferably your birthday, because that's one of the things that we use to look you up, and then we can get that absentee ballot out, give it to the person, they can take it to you, you can fill it out, and you can put it in the mail. And if you have an absentee ballot and you haven't put it in the mail, you have until election day to do so. My schedule later this week is I'll have on Thursday, my Zoom with Zarni will be with Alyssa Italiano. She's running for Manlius Town Board. She's a great candidate. She's running to fill a vacancy out there. The vacancy was John Deere, who was on the town board, got elected supervisor. So they put her in as the town board member. Now she has to run this year and next year. We have a great conversation about what that means and how hard that is. And then this weekend, I'll be doing my weekly wonk will be Assembly District 127. That's the Assembly District held by Al Sturby. That will be going on this weekend. And of course, next week is election week. My Zoom with Zarni, my Commissioner in a Car will be coming to you live early in the morning on election day, on Tuesday election day. I will still do it on Tuesday, but instead of doing it at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be doing it at like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is when I report to work on election day. And it'll be short, but it'll be giving you all the information that you need. So David, my good friend David, is back. He's able to make some comments here. He asked if I have any comment about the recent revelations of the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to be I'm going to say that on that, I'm going to be cautious. I have not read the search warrant. I've not had time to read the search warrant. I've kept up with the news reports of it. Obviously, the affidavit has not been released for that, which I think would give us even more information. But it's chilling, the fact that so many secret documents, classified documents, were found at a former president's house. That the fact that it seems like he either lied or purposely misled authorities about whether he had them or not. And when he was asked to return them, refused to do so. So all of that is pretty darn concerning. And I believe that sometimes you have to let the Justice Department do its work and trust that they'll have the right outcome And I hope that Merrick Garland will do so. So far, I believe he has. He's filled his oath. He's not the one who publicized the warrant and the search. That was all Donald Trump. He has not been the one who's gone out there until after Donald Trump and all of the right-wing maniacs decided to accuse him of being some political agent, and then he defended his, the men and women of the FBI who did the search. So I think that's important. And of course, the capture of Dominion voting equipment by pro-Trump lawyers, that is very scary. I mean, the fact that it looks like election officials were turning over that voting equipment, that is scary. This did not happen in New York State. I need to make sure people understand that. It didn't happen in Onondaga County either. But it looks like, some of them wittingly, some of them unwittingly actually turned over election equipment to these lawyers. That's bad, but the fact that the lawyers were even asking for it is just chilling. That agents of the United States, of the President of the United States, were asking for voting equipment after an election where they clearly lost. That is chilling, and it's not something that I hope to ever have to face, and I hope I won't. I think one of the revelations that are coming out about this is that it looks like there's going to be real consequences for this. So hopefully that'll keep people from doing it in the future. And I don't believe that unless there is real consequences for it, that it will keep people from doing it in the future. So it's important to make sure that the consequences are felt. So that's really it for my commissioner in a car. I shared something on my Facebook page today, and I just want to mention this. My family lost one of our dogs yesterday, and I want to do a big shout out to Stillwater Veterinary Clinic, who came to our house and let our family member Karma go in peace. But I know there are a lot of pandemic puppies out there that have been adopted during the pandemic, and their owners have returned them to shelters and returned them to adoption agencies because they didn't know what it was like to take on a dog. And I have to say, I probably won't say much about this in the future, but if you're thinking about getting a dog, it was one of the most rewarding things in my life to have this dog with me for 16 and a half years, who was adopted, and a dog we found, who found us and made our family so very happy. So if you're thinking about it, adopting a dog is probably one of the most rewarding things that you can do. And you will never be as loved as a dog that you chose to bring into your family. So think about that. And of course, if you have a puppy, keep that puppy. They become little jerks for about a year and a half, after they grow up. But it's so rewarding to have an old dog who loves you and loves your family. So that's it. Okay, early voting. Open till 8 today, noon to 8 tomorrow, 10 to 6 Thursday and Friday, 9 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Election day, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Tuesday, August 23rd. Absentee ballots are still available if you have somebody come in person to the Onondaga County Board of Elections, 1000 Erie Boulevard West, Syracuse, New York, 13204. And we are open anytime that early voting is going. Our offices are open, and we open at 8:30 in the morning as well. So like tomorrow, if early voting goes till 8, we're open from 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can come in and get an absentee ballot, or have somebody come in and give you an absentee ballot. And of course, you can go to any of our early voting centers and vote as well. You can only get an absentee ballot up until the Monday before election, so make sure you do so. Thursday, I have Zoom with Zarni with Alyssa Italiano. This weekend, Weekly Wonk, Assembly District 127. And finally, next Tuesday, 4 o'clock in the morning, bright and early, Commissioner in the Car, as we get ready for primary day. All right. Go to onvote.net. You can check your polling place. You can check your party. You can check your voter registration. Please get out and vote. Very important races for both sides of the aisle for Congress, and of course the conservative race for Senate District 48. These are the people who will be carrying your banner into the general election. And with this open congressional seat, it's very important to get out there and vote and choose the candidate of your choice. All right, bye-bye.